Hello, dears, how are you? All what we are struggling, striving, all the results of our struggle and striving have just one cause, reason, and that is called hope. We, the humans, start working and carry on working only if at all we are hopeful. And if at all there is no hope, then nobody likes to work because we become of the view that whatever I am going to spend or invest in terms of the time, energy, finances, and otherwise, all is going to be wasted. And this situation is called hopelessness, being hopeless. So, those people who are not striving, not struggling, unable to achieve anything good at all, these are hopeless people. And they achieve nothing. And it is called inertia, totally becoming an effortless person. While those who are active, not necessarily they succeed everywhere else, but they do succeed at several places. Why are they active then? They are active only because they are hopeful. Even if at all they don't succeed anything else worthwhile, but still they learn a lot, and that is called experience. So, no effort is ever wasted at all. Everything else yields results either in shape of the success or in shape of the learning experiences. So, my dear friends and fellows, hope is the one which is all good. So, it is the hope actually which is our life or which provides everything else. So, my dear friends and fellows, today we are going to talk about why hope is essential. Although we spoke about in the preface, but still, technically speaking, we are going to talk about what are why it is technically so much important to remain hopeful, and it is so much important to remain to keep ourselves away from the hopelessness. Having talked about it, we will need to speak about how to keep the hope alive in ourselves. So let's begin. So, my dear friends and fellows, there are five major reasons. There are five very important reasons why the hope is so much important. The first reason is that it provides us with a motivation, and hope guides us hope guides us the strength and motivation to keep moving forward. Yes, indeed, hope gives us the strength on the one hand and the motivation on the other hand to keep moving, to keep struggling, to keep making the effort. So the first important benefit is the motivation. And now the second important benefit, that is called resilience. And why? Hope helps us bounce back from setbacks and from failures and from trauma. It is the resilience. The second important benefit of being hopeful is that it makes us a resilient person. We bounce back from the failure, from the trauma, And of course, that is indeed a major benefit, a bigger one of the bigger benefits. Now, the third important reason why the hope is so much important, and it is because of the mental health. Hope reduces stress, hope reduces anxiety, and hope reduces depression as well. So, if at all something else minimizes the level of anxiety, minimizes the level of stress, mental stress, and minimizing the level of depression, so that means it is highly beneficial, and it makes us a mentally healthy person and a psychologically healthy person. So now the fourth important benefit of the hope is that it gives us a purpose, and hope gives us a sense of direction and a meaning as well. Indeed, hope gives us a sense of direction and meaning, that is, purpose, which is given to us by the hope. Now, the fifth and the last, reason why the hope is that much important, and it is because hope inspires us to find solutions. Hope inspires us to find solutions and make positive changes. Hope inspires us to find solutions and make positive changes as well. So, these are the five major reasons why hope is that much important. Now, we are going to talk about how to keep the hope alive and how to somehow remain hopeful enough so that we could keep moving forward, keep developing, keep succeeding, keep achieving whatever we want to achieve, because we are very active now. Why? Because we are very hopeful. So the first way to keep the hope alive, that is focus on the present, not to dwell in the past at all, not to keep repenting and regretting about the past, and not to keep worrying about the future as well. Rather, learn to live in the present, learn to live in the today, and that is very much important. That is how we can keep our hope alive. That is, that is break down challenges into the meaningful task, into the manageable task, breaking down the major work, the major challenges into the manageable tasks, like seven manageable tasks out of one challenging item. So my dear friends and fellows, that is how we can focus and concentrate upon the present moment. So that is the number one reason how we can keep our hope alive. That is focusing on the present and breaking down the challenges into manageable tasks. Now, the second way to do all that, it is practicing self care. Yes, indeed. How can I practice the self care? That is, take care of your physical, take care of your emotional, take care of take care of your mental well-being. So that is how, so my dear friends and fellows, we can do it, practicing self-care by taking care of your mental, physical, emotional well-being. Now, my dear friends and fellows, the third way to keep the hope alive in us, so that is reframe negative thoughts. Reframing of the negative thoughts, it is like, it is like challenge pessimistic thoughts and replace them with a positive affirmation. Yes, indeed, challenging pessimistic thoughts and replacing them with the positive affirmation. So that is called reframing of the negative thoughts. Positive affirmations mean all the words and the sentences which actually encourages us, motivates us. That is something which is called positive affirmation. Challenging, defeating, throwing it out of the mind, the negative talk, negative thoughts, and the negative self-talk, because the negative self-talk and the negative thoughts are our biggest enemies. And the negativity here mean whatever snatches our confidence, lowers our self-confidence, that is called, that is called the negative thought. So my dear friends and follows, the fourth way to keep the hope alive in us, that is connect with others. How can I and you connect with other people? It is reach out to the sportive people, to the sportive friends, to the sportive family member, to the sportive relatives, and of course to a therapist. That is connect with others, and keep yourself away from the toxic people. So that is the fourth way to keep the hope alive. Now the fifth way to keep the hope alive, that is called celebrate small wins. Celebrating the small wins. So my dear friends and fellows, how can I and you celebrate the small wins? It is acknowledge and celebrate small victories, not to keep waiting for the bigger victories, for the big victories. Why? Because that happens rarely, and also because the smaller victories combined converts into the major victory. So every small victory is important. So always appreciate yourself a lot and celebrate somehow the small victories. That is the sixth way. Now how to keep the hope alive in us, that is, find meaning and purpose. Finding meaning and purpose. How can I do that? How can you do that? It is like reflecting on your values, reflecting on your passions and long term goals. It is find meaning and purpose, and it can only be done reflect on your values, on your passions, and the long term goals as well. This is how we can find the meaning and the purpose. Now the seventh way to keep the hope alive in us, so it is practice gratitude. Practice gratitude. How can we practice the gratitude? It can be done by focusing on the good things in your life, no matter how small a good thing is. Never ignore it. Never underestimate the importance of it. Always keep, being grateful, and that can only be done by, shifting our focus, from what we lack to what we have. So my dear friends and fellows, that is, called, practice gratitude. Now the eighth way to keep the hope alive in us, so that is, take breaks and rest. Taking breaks and resting. So my dear friends and fellows, how can I take breaks and how can I take rest? Allow yourself time to rest and recharge. Allowing yourself time to rest and recharge, that is how we can take breaks and rest. Now, the ninth way to keep the hope alive in us, it is seek inspiration. How can I seek the inspiration? That is, read or listen to the uplifting stories. Reading or listening, reading, watching, or listening to the uplifting stories. And that is, my dear friends, how can we somehow seek the inspiration? Read, watch, or listen to the uplifting stories, and uplifting quotes, and uplifting the podcast as well. Now the 10th and the last way, how can we keep the hope alive in us? It is hold on to hope. That is, how can I hold on to hope? Now listen please. It is that remind yourself that, remind yourself that tough times are temporary. Reminding ourselves that the tough times are temporary and better days will always come. Remind yourself that the tough times are temporary, and better days will always come. This is how we can hold on to hope as well. Now please remember, hope is a choice, and choose to hold on to it. And then I think it is really something great, because hope mean life, because hope mean everything. Hope is behind every struggle, and every struggle is behind every achievement. So my dear friends and fellows, if at all we want to enjoy the life, if at all we want to live a fuller life, all what is needed is that we should remain very much hopeful. So my dear friends and fellows, that is all from me today. Thank you very much.